You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
I do not have a vagina. And he does not have a penis. We don't have genitals.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I have all the genitals.
Do you guys ever think about dying?
Oh, yeah. Awkward stare, awkward
Can you
stare.
feel it?
Can you feel it, baby? Can you feel it?
Oh yeah. Welcome to Moviesucktastic.
Oh, there you are. There you go. Ooh, Mr. Wilson.
What? You can see me now? What? Oh.
Oh, you're in the frame.
Okay. Cool.
It came with the frame.
So look, I came with the frame. The one that came with the frame is Scott. The other one's Joey. And
Howdy.
this week we're reviewing
American
Oscar
Fiction.
films.
Yes, the first one is going to be American Fiction. Yes, sir.
Yes. So, do you want to start off with what the film is up for Oscars for?
Oh, sure. I can do that. Just jump right into there. Usually we do that at the end, but you know what? I think you're right. I think it's actually better to do this in the beginning.
And then we can just throw away in any comments on it afterwards. So just,
Yeah.
I mean, just run through them real quick. Yeah.
All right. So it's up for original score, which it's interesting because as I watched this film, I didn't.
Don't comment on it yet. Just go through them and then let's start reviewing it.
Oh, I'm not going to remember to talk about the score later. But okay.
All right, scratch that. Anyway, American Fiction. Let's take two.
All right. It's up for. Oh, I'll do it. It's up for original score. It's up for best actor in a leading role, Jeffrey Wright. It's up for best actor in a supporting role, who plays his brother in the film, Sterling K. Brown. Best picture of the year and best adapted screenplay.
Correct.
So those are the five. It's got only five nominees.
And I believe the name of the author is Percival Everett. Based on the novel Erasure, which I have not read, and I right up front I did not read any comparisons to the novel. I didn't want to know anything about the novel. It's up for best film. I want to know about it as far as a film. So I did not do any research as far as what the origins of the story is. We're taking this at face value. For me,
yeah.
I mean,
Sure.
if you have anything you want to throw in,
No, I didn't read the book either. I had no idea this was based on anything until it got nominated for adapted screenplay. So yeah, no, I went into this movie blind. I knew he was a writer and it had something to do with that, but I didn't know really anything about the plot at all.
Yeah. I mean, the basic IMDb summary would be a novelist who's fed up with the establishment from black entertainment uses a pen name to write a book that propels him into the heart of the hypocrisy and madness he claims to disdain.
Yeah, it's throughout this film, every time he put his hand in his face and in his head, and I'm like, I feel you, man. I feel you. He's doing it for a completely different reason than me, but the emotion is very much the same.
I really think that Jeffrey Wright deserves his nomination for Best Actor. He really conveys a lot of emotion without really conveying a lot of emotion.
Yeah,
and I think he kind of proved that at least to a certain audience through in Westworld.
That's his style of acting too, though.
Yeah, and it definitely works in this kind of situation, especially because he's playing a character that's very closed in and does not really play well with others, so to speak.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah. Yeah, so the basic idea is he's an author. He has some books published, but nothing lately, and he's having no luck getting his latest book published because everybody thinks it's old and hackneyed, and they keep saying that they want something more African American, more black.
Right.
And at the same time, this new book that's out, what was it called?
His new book in the movie?
No, the other woman. The other,
We lives in the ghetto.
Yeah,
Weez lives in the ghetto.
Mm-hmm. Misspellings and all. Yeah.
Correct.
All right. So on top of all this, on top of all of that, midlife crisis kind of stuff, family issues, deaths in the family, and amidst all of that, he kind of snaps and decides he's going to write a book mocking what the kind of books they're asking for. And then it's just like right out of the producers. It's like, oh, that thing I was going to do that I meant the bomb. Guess what? Everyone loves it. And so the rest, and so the second half, the second and third parts of the film involve him dealing with this facade he's created, Stagger Lee.
You're right, Stag R. Lee, yeah.
Right, and to sell this book and sell the movie rights to a book.
Well, he
wrote,
initially writes it as a complete joke.
Yeah,
because
to mock the industry for liking that kind of book.
Correct, and he writes it from the transition. It looks like he pretty much is able to write it in a night. You know, it's like he's like, yeah, I can write like an idiot. This is actually quite easy. I don't have to write intelligently. Is that what you're telling me? I can write an entire book? Yeah, it from the transition of when he starts it to handing it off to his publisher or his agent, so to say. It looks like he writes it in one night. And I really liked when he was doing it, they had those scenes where the two actors were acting it out. I thought that was kind of neat.
Keith David.
Gotta love Keith David. Gotta love Keith David.
Yeah. Oh, that scene's hilarious too, and it playing out and him interacting with the writing sequence. And I'm glad they only did that once during that one writing.
Yeah, if they did that more than one time, well, I know if they did it more than once, I think it would have belittled the film a little bit because it's smarter than that. You know, this movie is a lot smarter and it's a lot better than that. So.
Right. Now, his problem, Jeffrey Wright, the main character's problem, is his complaint is that black authors, black entertainers, black people aren't being recognized except through this filter of being black and the exploitation of black people. So, like he's going through the TV and everything is either gangster stuff, kids in the hood, boys in the hood. Sorry, so showing my age. So you got Boys in the Hood, and then there's like stuff about slavery, and so everything's about the struggles of the black man under oppression, and he's resenting that because he's just writing normal books or normal fiction. It isn't really approaching that level of thing, and he's also annoyed at how the white reading audience is eating it up and they love it, and he feels that the black audience is like betraying itself by reading the stuff too.
Well, also you have to remember the movie opens up with him in his classroom, where he has a suggestive some wording on the blackboard, or on the dry erase board, and it was the N-word, and one of his students goes on and on about how she is offended by the word, and he's like I like his line. He goes, I got over it. I think we could move past this. You should be able to as well. And then she keeps going on about it, and then he loses his shit. But, I mean, that's the kind of actor Jeffrey Wright is. And like you said, his nomination is well-deserved. Well-deserved. but that's where the movie starts. So you get a really good idea of what you're in for with his character. So
No, that opening was perfect. I'm sorry. I'm
yeah,
still laughing.
yeah. Absolutely.
There's a couple of great laugh moments. I mean, the film is, and I'm glad it starts out on that note, because the film does deal with a lot of weighty material. I mean, because the main disconnect for Jeffrey Wright, the character, is who feels he's in the right. The name character association there. Is that he doesn't relate to any of these stories because he grew up in a fairly affluent family. All of his brothers and sisters all have high-paying jobs. They're the upper class, or at least
well, actually, even later on in the film, when he's having a conversation with his mother, she talks very briefly about his father and just essentially said that he was a genius. He was brilliant, and there is a little piece. It's comedic with his agent about how his father actually died, and it was but I thought that scene was great. I'm like, oh dude. and the fact that they're in the middle of this conversation and he's like, oh I'm so sorry, and it's just like, probably didn't even think of that until you blurted out, oh I'm so sorry. That's how
it didn't occur to me until he said I'm sorry. I forgot about it too.
But you're right. The entire family, they're all highly intelligent and successful, and like you said, upper class. It's very different than what he's writing.
Right. But at the same time, his family, like, there's a compelling story going on through his family. You've got the past history with his father, the conflict with his brother, and his sister. And we're obviously saying spoilers. I hate saying it. Ignore it. But, and just in that brief period of time, oh, gee, I find out mom has Alzheimer's. My sister has a heart attack and dies. My brother came out gay when his wife found him with a man, and now he's like getting divorced and everything.
He's going through his own thing.
Yeah, so and like there's this, and now I'm I'm checking out the newly divorced woman across, but I'm having there's all this actual like really compelling drama that is based on a human level going on around him, and yet he feels the need to create this, the fake gangster story,
right?
Just to mock these people because he doesn't feel like he's connecting with his own stuff. So now I'm not the only thing I don't really know too much is if any of his family history is kind of reflected in his books. I'm assuming not.
He did,
because it seems like
from his character in the movie, it doesn't seem like that's how he writes.
No, and it seems like he's very distant from his family, which they put in too. I mean, and then there's the whole parallels how his father apparently was an asshole, but he his father liked him, so he's kind of an asshole now.
Right.
But his father killed himself, and then there's that whole and again, like a lot of the stuff they just brief, okay, that's there. You don't even have to know why that's an issue. That's an issue.
Right. I mean, when he in the beginning of the film, they tell him they're giving him a mandatory break, and to go back to I forget the community that he lives in, but he goes, I don't want to go there. That's where my family is. He doesn't want to go anywhere near them.
Oh, like this.
Exactly.
But I mean that juxtaposition, excuse me, plays throughout the film but which again it gets complicated when all of a sudden they're getting bidders on the book and the motivation is tripled there could be tripled. It's increased. The impetus for taking the money is increased because the fact he needs to put his mother up in his home, and his brothers don't help financially because his divorce issues.
His brother's going through some shit too. So
I'm taking a lover.
Well, that whole scene where he's just like, I've taken a lover, and his brother, a monk or Theodius, who's played by Jeffrey Wright, he's He's like, I'm sorry that you're offended by that. He goes, I'm not offended by that. I'm offended that you've taken a lover, the term.
Yeah.
And then he hangs up. He goes, fuck you, bitch. And he hangs up on him. And he's like, hey,
Take him a level right now?
I'm going to take my lover right now. Where's your ass?
Yeah, and again, just speaking of deserving of the nomination, I mean, just Sterling Brown just fucking blows away that character.
Yeah, and the thing is, I really do think Robert Downey Jr. is going to win the Oscar, but I have a feeling that Sterling K. Brown probably should.
I feel like, yeah. Now, I do want to point out that one of the things I found extremely funny in the film was, now, obviously, race is a major component of this, and
Right.
If you're a thin-skinned white boy, you might be a little annoyed at things like where like most of the white characters that you meet seem kind of stereotypical, but that can be ignored. Any argument like that can just be ignored.
Right.
Oh, I know. What's the name of the guy on the beach?
Oh, that guy. Where his brother tells him he's going to eat his sweater.
Go, fuck you. If you have a permit for this, go fuck yourself.
I want to say his name. It was like Eugene or something. Like it was like it was a really white name.
But
Is that human remains? You have a permit for this? Fuck you. Like, come over here. I'm going to eat your fucking sweater.
So the one joke, there's a bridge joke or a brick joke, whatever you want to call it, in the first act where he says, I can't go down there. There's only one gay bar, and like they're all college kids. Somebody down there asked me if I was Tyler Perry. And then at the end of the film, it's like, you're making a movie? Yeah. So who did they get to play me? He said, Tyler Perry. And as I'm watching that, I had to admit, as a white male viewer, I couldn't really confirm for you that wasn't Tyler Perry at that point.
Oh, stop.
I don't know what Tyler Perry
You know who Tyler Perry is. Fucking Medea. Come on. Diary of an Angry Black Woman.
Tyler Perry?
You know who Tyler Perry is. Stop it. I'm trying to find the guy on the beach. I'm having a hard time finding him. It was... I mean, there's not that many people in the movie.
Yeah. Now, one thing I found interesting is that the character, the other black author that wrote a book, and
the woman?
Yeah.
You want her real name or you want her name in the movie?
Either. I'm forgetting both.
Yeah, her name was Issa Rae. She played Sinatra Golden.
That's it. Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know why I can't find her on this. This is ridiculous. Apologies. Yeah, so what I found interesting with her characters, I did like how they set it up at the beginning, where you're like
Right.
you kind of understand where the disdain is coming from Jeffrey, but when he confronts her, and later when she's involved in this the awards judging, she really comes out like being legitimate and not being like a what he was kind of felt she was, like a fraud or just like jumping on the bandwagon, so to speak.
Right.
And having her kind of validate her own writing to him during that brief exchange during the judging. Again, it's a character arc that doesn't really have a definite end, because again we're seeing the kind of corruption of a character who's like railing against corruption. In this case, the corruption would be like the double-edged hypocrisy of not racism, but like this kind of embracing. Like there's a very important scene in the beginning where while he's in the opening scenes, while he's on the phone talking to his agent about how they want something that's more black in his writing. He wants writing to be more black. At the same time, he gets passed over by a cab, but it picks up a white guy down the block.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And it really
he just drives
kind of
past him.
Yeah, and it just kind of underlines the idea that's like, okay, so we're in a society where we're going to embrace not being racist, but I still can't get a fucking cab.
Right.
You know, so why am I being how am I only being seen black in this negative way? How can't I just be seen in a positive way? And he takes that, you know, to town, and he gets whipped with it.
The neighbor on the beach, his name was Philip.
Philip, shut up, Philip.
Shut the fuck up, Philip. I'm gonna eat your fucking sweater.
But I definitely think this deserves to be nominated for Best Picture as well, because I really think it's now when so when I say important film, I don't mean like this film has said something no one else has said, but it's at least approaching it's approaching a topic and giving us like helping us look at it from different angles. Yeah, and I think it is important to complicate the discussion of race, because the only way to further this discussion is to get beyond the simple. You know, this is why people say, "Oh, there's no racism anymore." So, yeah, just because there's not daily lynchings doesn't mean there's not racism. You've got to acknowledge that there's degrees, and you know, you've got to understand what those are. And this is one of those kind of films that really just explores it, but also explores how black people too are trying to figure out where the line is, and you know what represents me, and you know, how should I be represented, as you know, how should black people be represented, because I mean, a lot of this comes down to the main character's ego.
For sure, and you know, like especially when they call the publishing company, and he's like, "Yeah, I want to change the title to fuck." Because he's like, you know what? Fuck them. I want to see how far I could push them.
Well, no, at that point he's trying to sabotage it, though.
No, but he is. But his ego is involved there too. Because he's like, you know what? He goes, the dumber I act, the more money they give me. So he starts going on that a little bit.
But again, I honestly, like, during that sequence, you even hear him when he mutes it. You hear him says, you know, we got to pull the plug on this. He's doing it to sabotage it. He's not really trying to egg it on or anything. He wants it to stop. He does want it to stop,
but I think, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but I think a small part of him doesn't. He's like, I want to see how far I can. I want to see how stupid I can get this.
No, I disagree totally. I don't think any of it is malicious on that level. He's at that. I mean, initially the whole point is just to push it and again, like you said, slap them in their faces with what, you know, this is what they want. This is what they should be getting. But then when they end up taking it seriously, again, it's the motivation for the money, because he needs it for his mother.
He does.
You know,
yeah, his mom.
And then once you get caught in the lie, it gets harder and harder to get out of it. And at that point, he's just trying to sabotage it so they'll back out of the deal. He's like, you know, I can't, you know, I really don't think he's purposely, let's see if this will be fun. I don't think that's any.
Oh, no. I don't think he ever thinks it's fun at any time. But I think there is a small part of him that's like, fuck these people. I'm going to change the title to fuck.
I disagree. I feel like that's against the character at this point. I think at that point, we just disagree.
No, we do, and I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying that I think a little bit of his ego is there.
All right,
just a little.
Yeah, I disagree. That's all. Yeah. I mean, but regardless, it ends up to where he's invited to be a guest judge on a literary awards.
Right.
And this literary award contest ends up including the book Fuck. And so he ends up on a panel with what's her name again?
Sinatra Golden.
And they both come out against
the book
having Fuck at number one.
Yeah.
To win, and like they're against it, and I love that scene too. Even though it's a bit kind of hit you over the head with it, it's still funny when the three white people outvote the two black people, and they just say at the end, like, and they make sure that like the black people are on one side of the table and the white people on the other,
right?
And the woman says, I think we just feel it's important that the black voice be heard. that scene says everything right there.
It does. You know what's interesting? You know what was on a couple of nights ago? Shaft. And I'm going somewhere with this. Shaft was on.
Shut your mouth.
But it was the one with Sam Jackson and Christian Bale and Jeffrey Wright. He played the Spanish drug dealer in the movie. And I'm watching it. I'm flipping through the channels, and I end up on the scene where Christian Bale is talking to Jeffrey Wright, and he's like, I want you to take me with you. He's like, take you with me? He's like, take me out with you. You mean like to Harvard? To the men's club? And he's like, no fucking way.
That's that line I always loved. It's like him doing the American accent. No fucking way.
But it's Jeffrey Wright. And I'm like, it's a very young Jeffrey Wright. And I'm watching it and I'm like, I knew it was him immediately, but I'm like, holy fuck, I didn't know he was in this. This is like 20 years ago, 24 years ago Shaft was made.
All right.
Whoa, my God.
We don't need to talk numbers.
Yeah, let's not do that anymore. But that's how long Jeffrey Wright's been around. Probably longer than that, but I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, so but I mean, I thought the there aren't really any. The film works very well. It's well crafted.
Yes.
I thought the ending was a nice ambiguous meta ending.
Yeah,
which we all can appreciate in this day and age, and I think it has a lot to say about race relations, and again, it's also about how, his main problem, and this actually kind of leaks into our next review too, is his basic problem, the main character's basic problem is he's trying to control how the world perceives him, or how the world defines him, instead of just defining himself and letting that be enough.
Right.
And sometimes that can get in the way of things.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Whether or not it's a race thing.
It's not a complicated film, but
I think it is.
No. Well, hold on. What I'm going with it's not a complicated film. Like you're not going to watch this film and not know what's happening. What's happening is I think it deals with a lot of complicated situations.
It's a straightforward drama.
Yeah,
or a comedy drama.
I mean, it does have some comedic elements in it, which are actually very good. But as far as a film, it does have a lot of layers. But it's not one of those movies where you're going to watch it, you know what's going on. It's not going to throw any twists and turns at you. It's better made than that. It's just a very well made movie, and it's funny when it needs to be. It's dramatic when it needs to be, and it just really by the end of the film it just brings it all around.
Right, and I think it's a smart film too, and again, it's that Chekhov quote I used an episode or two ago, paraphrasing that art's job isn't to give us a solution to the problem; its job is to show us the problem in a new way.
Right,
and I think this does give us a new way to look at the same problem, and maybe we'll figure something out.
True. Yes.
So I as far as like best picture, my money's still on Barbie, but this is a good film too.
Barbie, stop. Barbie's not winning best picture, so
it should because it's the best picture.
No. I mean, I enjoyed the hell out of Barbie, but come on, read the room.
I've already proven it on paper, so I mean,
you've proven it on paper.
Yeah, I think I made my case during our review of Barbie that it deserves to win Best Picture. It is the Best Picture, period.
Yeah, go and listen back to that episode. It was only, what was it, episode 402? 402. But no, Barbie will not be winning Best Picture this Oscar season.
It deserves it.
Whether it deserves it or not, it is not winning Best Picture. So.
And as far as best adapted,
it's not Sinatra, it's Sintara. That's it's my dyslexia. Sorry.
Oh, so there goes that fucking episode. Anyway.
God damn.
Best adapted. Here's the only problem, because they fucked up with Barbie. Barbie is under best adapted screenplay, so now this is up against Barbie, which was a great screenplay too.
Yes. Well, remember what I was saying. It has a lot more competition in the adapted category than the original.
Unfortunately.
So if it was in the original, it probably walks away with that Oscar. In the adapted, it's not an easy choice at all.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, even ruling Oppenheimer out, I feel like it's really a hard call between American Fiction and Barbie. I mean, as far as they're both quality written movies. I don't know.
Yeah. No. So it.
What do you want to rate it, sir?
Well, what is it currently sitting at? It is
7.7.
7.7. I think this is an 8.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
I mean, I think 7 would be low for this, for how good this movie is.
I agree. No, I think it's an 8. I think it's a solid 8.
Yeah. No, this is a good film. The scene with Philip is in the trailer when I scrolled up to see the rating. Shut the fuck up, Philip. What a white name. It's perfectly written.
Yeah, but that's it. American Fiction. And what are we at time wise?
32 minutes.
Let's wrap up, sir.
Let's do that. I like that. All right, everybody. Let's cue in the music. All right, everybody. Thank you. Oh, is that one? Maybe you should just do the music.
No. I'm sorry.
No. Go to our website at Moviesucktastic.com. It's brand new. It'll be going live really, really soon, probably in the next week or so. But go to our website at Moviesucktastic.com. Why? You don't even need to know that, because people are going to listen back to this. Could be 5 years from now. They listen back to it, and they'll be like, "This is the same fucking website that I've seen for the last 5 years." Anyway, go to our website and you can download, listen to the show. You can click to go watch the episode on YouTube after it's aired. You can go to iTunes and you can listen to the show there. You can go to Facebook.com/Moviesucktastic and you can see what we post. Everything we post usually ends up there. You can leave us voicemail at 908-514-4470. You can leave us email at themovieguys@Moviesucktastic.com. And you can download your favorite podcast app and you can listen to us there, or you can download ours at Moviesucktastic.com/mst.apk. You have any words of wisdom, Mr. Wilson?
Shut the fuck up, Philip.
All right, everybody. We will talk to you next time when we review The Holdovers. Bye-bye.
Bye, my main man.